that I saw a young child of 3 or 4. Her garments had caught fire. She was crying out, "O Father, O Father," as she was running in the wilderness. I went behind her. She presumed me to be of her adversaries and that I would go and chastise her. She clasped her hands and she said, "Oh man, I have no earrings left." I saw her chest was covered with blood that was dripping from her ears. I saw her cheeks had been turned purple from the excessive slaps that she had received. When she saw that I was no enemy, she allowed me to put out the fire. Then she said to me, "Oh man, you appear to be a good person. Show me the way to Najaf." I said to her, "What shall you do after knowing the way to Najaf?" "I shall sit there and call out for my grandfather. And the people who come from the part of Najaf, I shall tell them that my father lies beheaded, stripped of all clothes, on the burning plains of Karbala. Come and bury him." Zainab sees the scene. With Kulthum, she begins to summon all the children and gather them. When she is going and gathering the children, nothing could have prepared the 2 sisters to bear what they saw. They saw 2 little children in each other's embrace. Wow. Zainab reached out to awaken them, only to find that the 2 children had died beneath the hooves of the raging horses. She cried to an extent that she could not control herself. As this was happening, an order was given. "Who amongst you shall trample the body of Hussein, the outlaw, and receive a reward from Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad?" 4 people mounted their horses, and in turn they walked over the body of Al-Hussein. It is said that when they went to claim the reward from Ubaydullah, they said, "Ubaydullah, reward us amply. We are the people who tore Hussein's body apart. By Allah, had you placed your hand on the chest of Hussein, you would have found it as soft as kneaded dough." Zainab gathered all her children. They were crying and saying, "Oh aunt, I have been slapped." Another one said, "Oh aunt, I have been whipped." The other one said, "Oh aunt, my belongings have been snatched in a merciless manner." Zainab was listening to all of them and consoling them. And she said to Kulthum, "Dear sister, where is the apple of the eye of Hussein? Where is Sakina?" Sakina was nowhere to be seen. Zainab looked towards the Euphrates and she said, "Oh Abbas, has your Sakina come to you?" There was no response. She looks towards the Maqtal and says, "Oh Akbar, has your Sakina come to you?" There was silence. Zainab, frightened and confused, she ran within the Maqtal, calling out, "Wa Sukaina, Wa Sukaina. Oh Sakina, oh Sakina, respond to me, O child." When she went into a shallow place, she saw that Sakina was in the embrace of a headless body. She went and she moved Sakina. When she moved Sakina, Sakina said, "Oh aunt, do not separate me from the body of my father." Zainab said, "Oh Sakina, this body has no head. It has no outer garments. How did you know it is the body of your father?" She said, "Oh aunt, when Shimmer slapped my face, when he extracted my earrings, when my garments caught fire, I called out, 'Wa Abata, oh father, why have you forsaken ye Sakina? Where are you, oh father? Why have you abandoned your child?' And I ran in this direction, and this heartless body called unto me, 'Ya Bunayya, Ilayya, Ilayya.'" Zainab brought Sakina back. Umar ibn Sa'd is given news that many children have died. He summons the widow of Hur, and says to her, take this water to the thirsty camp of Hussein. When Hur's wife approaches Imam Hussein's camp, Zainab realizes it's Hur's wife. She says to Kulthum, she comes to us at a time when we do not even have a carpet to put upon the floor. O Kulthum, let us receive her. When Hur's wife comes to them, they say, O Hur's wife, great is the sorrow and the torment at the death of Hur. Except our Tasliya, Hur's wife cries and slaps her face. And she says, 1,000 Hur may be sacrificed upon you. Dear lady, I bring some water for you. Zainab looks at the water and her eyes fill with tears. Oh dear lady, are you remembering your Abbas? Or are you thinking of the thirst of your Hussein? She turns her face and she says, oh Sakina, come to me. The water has come. She said, has my uncle come back from the Euphrates? Oh child, drink the water. Why me? You are the youngest. She cries out, oh Asghar. Zainab puts them to sleep around a half-burnt tent. The tent is burning. Zainab picks up a broken spear and guards them. As she guards them in the depths of the night, she finds somebody approaching upon a horse from afar. She says, oh man, we have nothing left. Go away. The rider does not stop. My children have barely fallen asleep. Do not awaken them. I beseech you for the sake of Allah. Go away. The rider advances. If you have to loot us, then come back tomorrow. I beseech you for the sake of the Prophet, go away. The rider does not stop. When the rider draws near, in a rage, the daughter of Haydar Karrar advances towards the horse, places her hands within the reins, and she said, do you not know whose daughter I am? As she says this, the man uncovers his face. As Mawla uncovers his face, and as Zainab beholds the face of her father, in a shock she stands back, and she places her hands upon her head, and she says, oh father, they have snatched my chadar.